The simplified main quest. When we look at main quests like Liberty Falls, The Tomb, and even a handful of main quests from Cold War, there's always a pattern that seems to follow it. The more simpler the map is, the more easier it is, the more narrow it is. Following its footsteps, it looks like the main quest does the same. And is that an issue? Well, let's look back at some simplified main quests that work and some that didn't. So for the examples in this video, I'm only going to use recent entries into the Zombies franchise, as I believe main quests didn't start getting fleshed out until the end of BO2. So anything onwards from that, we'll be looking at the simplified main quest that occurred. I think that we can all agree that in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 Zombies, the main quests were very in-depth and also had a lot of character to it. And it was for a right purpose. As we look at the maps that were displayed, like Revelations, Gorod Krovi, Ancient Evil, 9, these type of maps seem to have fit really well with the more complex Easter egg with more steps. It wasn't until around Cold War when we started to see the more simplified Easter eggs. Now, I wouldn't say that every single Cold War Easter egg is the most simplified it can be. In my opinion, the second Outbreak Easter egg is the most simplified main quest in Cold War. I believe Cold War's main quests were more narrow in contrast to BO3 and BO4's main quests, which were more complex. Although I do believe that Cold War's main quests are more simplified, in my opinion, they're more in the mid-tier of what a main quest difficulty can be. It's not too hard, you still gotta think about it a little bit when completing it, and it's not just a breeze most of the time. When we look at previous maps, it seems like the complexity of the map and the main quests complement each other. If you look at something like Origins, it's a very complex map with the Easter egg that is very heavy, so those two complement each other really well. When you look at a map like D Machine on the other hand, it's a simpler map with a more narrow main quest. These are just two examples of complexity complementing each other. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a simple map with a complex Easter egg. If you guys know any, go ahead and type it down in the comments below. But when I think about simplified main quests, I think about the length and how difficult it is to complete it. One example where I believe a simplified main quest is in a complex map is Zetsubo no Shima from Black Ops 3. In my opinion, Zetsubo is a very complex map, but I feel like the Easter egg doesn't do it justice to complement the complexity of it. The Easter egg is short, it's a bit simplified, and overall, it's a little lackluster compared to other Easter eggs in Black Ops 3. So that's a case where I believe a simplified Easter egg does not work, as I believe it doesn't complement the vision the map was striding for. But with BO6, there are two maps in particular that I believe take simplified to the extreme measures when it comes to the main quest. And that is those of The Tomb and Liberty Falls. Before the launch of Black Ops 6, the community was split on whether if Liberty Falls was going to be a more standard zombies map or a bonus map, as the marketing and communication from Treyarch was a bit unclear. It wasn't until a bit after Liberty Falls was revealed that we figured out it was supposed to be a bonus type of side experience, nothing like a full-fledged experience compared to Terminus. But yet, there was still going to be an Easter egg. So how would Treyarch go around implementing a main quest into a more simpler / bonus map? When looking at previous bonus maps in previous titles, there's never been a fleshed out Easter egg. In Classified, we had Round 150, in the Giant, we basically had the same Easter egg similar to the original Doris. And there was nothing in Nuketown or 5. So when Liberty Falls was released, the hunt began to go for the Easter egg, and it was solved really quickly. It was very simple. Get the jet gun, obtain the 3 parts for the LTG and build it, use the LTG to spawn an HVT and lower its health, and absorb its soul with the canister at a trap. Repeat this again, take it to the device in the Dark Ether Church, and you are ready for the final encounter. The final encounter sets you up in a lockdown where you have to defeat HVTs. There is no big boss battle, there is no time limit, and it's just a final standoff to survive as long as you can. And with that, you have completed the main quest on Liberty Falls. And with how short it is and how simplified the Easter egg is, for some reason, it was still enjoyed. Liberty Falls is a map where you can get straight into the action. As you open up the whole map, the perks are right there for purchase, and when you open up the church, the pack-a-punch is available for use. To bring back my earlier point, Liberty Falls is living proof of complexity of a map and complexity of a main quest complementing each other perfectly. I think those two factors is how you make a quest work. As long as the complexity matches each other well, the type of main quest shouldn't be problematic on the type of map it's on. When looking at the rest of Black Ops 6's catalog, we have Terminus, Citadel, and The Tomb. With Terminus and Citadel being more standardized zombies maps that we're used to, having a main quest that is also more standardized. It's not as complex as BO4's main quest and some of BO3's, but it's still good main quests that work really well with the levels of the map's complexity. Alongside this, people enjoy the fact that we have a more simpler map alongside our standardized zombies experiences. But at the time with only 3 maps in BO6's catalog, the tomb gets quickly revealed, and the community is skeptical. What type of experience is the tomb gonna be? Well, in Treyarch's marketing, they mentioned that Liberty Falls is the most played experience in recent years. So they wanted to offer something similar with the tomb. But going into the map, the community had to be on the lookout for what they meant by similar to Liberty Falls. When the tomb released, the community delved in and noticed immediately what Treyarch were talking about. The layout was very simple, the map was small, the Easter egg was super simplified, similar to Liberty Falls, and you can tell it was just an experience to hop in and slay some zombies. The main quest went as such: obtain the ice staff, upgrade it, and use it to begin 4 trials. The trials include a special enemy that you have to defeat to obtain its dark energy, and once the dark energy is obtained, you return it to the podiums back in the Nexus Point. Once all 4 trials are completed, you're ready for the final encounter. The final encounter, once again, is not a big boss fight, but it is definitely unique and interesting. See, you have the Sentinel artifacts that act as a lethal obstacle in completing the final encounter. As the lasers spin around the arena, they could hit you and damage you severely, so you have to stay on your toes. While all that is going on, you have to do damage to the Sentinel artifact phase to phase, until Sentinel artifact enemies start spawning, where you have to defeat them, where they kind of act like HVTs. Once defeated, you do damage to the Sentinel artifact, and you completed another phase. You do that a couple times, do one last stand with the Sentinel artifact, laying all your damage into it, and you've completed the main quest. With how controversial the tomb is, it is still a very simplified map with a simple main quest that complement each other perfectly, just like how Liberty Falls did. A bit of repetition, a short quest, and simple to do. The tomb is more proof that simplified main quests could work. As long as they are complementing each other, a simplified main quest could be a success. So with all this talk about simplified main quests working, where do they get in the way? I think when there are too many simplified main quests, it's problematic. If we look at a game like Cold War, most of the criticism came from it was too basic and too simple. And that included the main quest. But at the same time, you don't want all complex Easter eggs. Some of the backlash that Black Ops 4 received was that it was too complex at times, and that included the main quest. So I think if you strike a perfect balance, it works amazingly. If you look at Black Ops 3, I think it has a nice balance of simple main quests and difficult main quests. As long as simplified main quests stay on simplified maps as bonus experiences, it'll be fine. But it cannot take up everything on the plate. That's where it can become problematic. If the rest of BO6's main quests are more standardized quests that we are used to, then that'll be great. But I believe if there are any more simplified main quests, the community might get a bit upset. I decided to go on Twitter and ask a couple questions to the COD Zombies community tab. First, I asked, do you think that simplified main quests work? Then followed with, what are the pros and cons? And finally, I said, can simplified main quests add another layer to your basic round 30 run? So looking at these replies, Multi-Dollar Man says, the tomb has made me really like simple quests. It's easy, fun, and flows really well. I do most of it on almost every run just to unlock the boss arena. I don't really see any cons as long as simple quests stay in simple maps, and more complex maps have more elaborate quests. I 100% agree. Next, Priestley Block 67 says, if the map is simple and small, a simple quest makes sense, and because of how rewarding it can be to complete it. Says free ray gun, tool, percoholic crystal, etc. It is worth it to do it often. And I 100% agree. If you're doing a round 30 run and you're in round 21 and you already have most of the Easter egg steps done on the simple map like Liberty Falls, might as well do the main quest, complete it, and you get rewarded these things that shift your regular round of 30 run. It adds another layer. And that's the reason why I asked that question. I think simplified quests help add another layer to your basic run, as it's easy to just go and do. It doesn't really take too much of your time in your basic game. And it is rewarding. Fishy G23 says, I find myself doing the Easter egg almost every match at Liberty Falls, so it does make it more interesting. Following the point I just mentioned. Elgata says, I think they work especially for speedrunners. Hell, Liberty Falls is literally designed with speedrunning the main quest in mind because of the Dark Ops challenge that it has, and I think it's pretty cool. I also agree with this. I remember when Liberty Falls first came out, a lot of the hype around the speedrunning community was so tough to see. Everyone was enjoying it, the YouTubers reacting was great, and it was just a fun time. It just sucks when Treyarch comes in and patches things that people love speedrunning in, but I think the communication coming from them recently is working out well. But I do agree with this reply. Liberty Falls is very fun to speedrun. The next reply is from the legend himself, Expert Fusion. Shout out Expert Fusion. I like your content, man. And he comes in with a unique opinion. He says, I think simple main quests work best when the map has a lot of other side quests or side content in general and make up for it. Great examples are Zombies in Spaceland and Raven the Redwoods. Two very simple and short Easter eggs, but there's so much other content on both of those maps. As much as I would love to agree or disagree, I don't have a lot of experience with IW zombies. But I could see the perspective he's coming from. If there's a complex map with a simple Easter egg, it should also have a lot of other side things to do. And lastly, Twin Blarkme replies with a long thread that I'm going to read through, says, Simplify main quests only work on simple maps. Would it be really weird having a simple main quest in a map like Origins or Ancient Evil, for example? It's directly tied to the complexity of the map, I think. Quests like D-Machine or Mauer are simple too. So yeah, they work and are meant to be accessible for casuals. All of Cold War had that approach. But I think the key that make them work is the story around it, being significant, and the gameplay loop. Whenever that element is weak, you're going to lose your casual community. That's why you can suppose every map of BO4 had the lowest completion main quest rates of all the games, plus the community bad reception of BO4 in general. Yeah, I agree with this statement. It's all about the map and the Easter egg being able to complement each other. And even throwing in other factors like the story and the gameplay loop, I also agree with. An Easter egg at the end of the day still has to have fun. And Easter eggs since the beginning have always told you more about the story. So as long as those are intact and they do their purpose, be fun, and bring lore, then a simple main quest will always work. Shout out everyone that replied to that post. You guys could go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Also, I'm going to start streaming on YouTube and Twitch soon. Gonna be just doing regular gameplay and running through some stuff, coming up with content ideas. So if you guys want to check me out, turn on the notifications and be on the lookout for a live stream on the YouTube channel. But that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know your thoughts on simplified main quests in the comments below. Have a good day and goodbye.